Hi everyone, so I'm back with another video. This one is a slightly unusual one. I have actually, it's a bit weird. Today is April 23rd, it's William Shakespeare's birthday, and I committed myself to reading as many Shakespeare plays as I could fit into one day. Yes, I like Shakespeare. I think I've been bit on my forehead, that's nice. Either way, yeah, I like Shakespeare. I think I've mentioned this before. And it's, I own quite a lot of his plays. I don't own them all. My couple is taking the mickey. Don't own them all, but I own quite a few of them, and I thought, well, I will read some of them. I love theatre in general, and not just Shakespeare, but Shakespeare is one of my big loves. So, yeah, I managed to read 4. If you actually follow me on Instagram, fallen_angel_cosplay, I am that type of person. Yes, I call myself a fallen angel. If you follow me over there, I was actually posting updates on my Instagram story of where I was up to when. But yeah, so I'm going to give you a rundown of the 4 I read, what they're about, and my reviews, basically, in one video to celebrate the bard. So, I started out with Macbeth. Now, Macbeth is about a ruler of Scotland who is promised a golden future by supernatural forces. So this involves witches and 3 witches. So Macbeth is the promised ruler, and he gets spurred on by his wife. He murders a king. And then he ends up learning the meaning of terror. He kills once, and he feels he must kill again and again. And the dead keep returning to haunt him. It's incredible. This is my favourite Shakespeare play ever. So obviously I gave this 5 stars. I've seen the the pro shot when David Tennant was in it, which came out on Marquee TV on the 1st of April, so I watched that. It was brilliant. It's his darkest tragedy. I mean, it's a character that's damned from right from the start. Madness, uncanny anatomy of fear, bleak betrayals, of people who will do whatever it takes to, get what they want in life. It's quite a claustrophobic play, both obviously in written form and in performed form. I mean, they do it on a set round stage, which is a square, to a 4 or 3 join, I think it's a 4 join audience, like one there, one there, one there, and one there kind of deal. It's both a period piece and a modern piece, because it has the aspects of religion and superstition which a lot of us do not follow now. Some of us do. I mean, you never say Macbeth in a theatre. It's bad luck. Yeah, that is a superstition that I have followed from years gone by, since I did drama at high school. I never said Macbeth. Even in the drama hall. It wasn't even in the theatre. I never said the word Macbeth. I always called it the Scottish play. I still don't to this day. But it's also watching a man just descend into a life of evil, essentially. And a little bit of madness. It's amazing. And I honestly don't know what I'd do without this and Romeo and Juliet, because Romeo and Juliet was the first experience of Shakespeare I ever had, and it spurred me on to read this, and then this has become my favourite. The reason why I didn't read Romeo and Juliet today, because you would imagine I probably would have, is I read it last year, and it's not due a reread. So then I went to a comedy, just to kind of break up the tragedy. I went to As You Like It. So this is, see on the back of this, it doesn't actually tell you. So this has sexual ambivalence. It almost speaks directly to the 21st century, I suppose, is what it says here. Juliet Dusenberry demonstrates that Rosalind's authority in a play that grows from new ideas about women reveals that Shakespeare's heroine reinvents herself for every age. The play is also deeply rooted in Elizabethan culture, and through it Shakespeare addresses the hotly debated issue of the period. A lot of men play Rosalind. Still to this day, actually, men play Rosalind. It's quite interesting, actually. So, as one of Shakespeare's comedies, it does have layers of gender and sexuality. This is a very weirdly formatted one, actually. So I obviously will be getting a different one. But it also has a light and light entertaining aspect, which obviously suits modern day. Rosalind herself is a very relevant character, especially now with all the gender goings on in the world. Wow, never thought we'd get political about Shakespeare. Obviously, there's a lot of homoerotic innuendos spread throughout this one. It's written in a way where, obviously, in Shakespeare's time, women were played by men all the time. You never saw a woman on the stage. But now you see women on stage. It's unusual to get a Shakespeare play where it's not actually a woman playing the women. I would like to see one done in the very traditional route, but Rosalind actually is played by a man. Very little does happen, obviously, on a superficial level with this one, but it talks about romantic love as well. It's a bit of a mixed bag. So that was a 4-star play. Then we move on to Hamlet. I have seen the BBC adaptation again with David Tennant. You know me. I think I have made it pretty clear. Can't even see the shirt. Hang on. There you go. I think I've made it pretty clear I like David Tennant. And I obviously made it pretty clear in the Doctor Who video, which is on my channel. Go and actually watch that, it's amazing. This one, I saw that one. I have read this one actually before, which is why the spine is indecently cracked. I read this in college. I did lighting tech. This actually still has my lighting tech annotations in. Where is that page? I did one of I think it was a speech to his mother. There you go. Where he is talking to her about, where he says, "I'll throw away the worst part of it and live in the purer with the other half. Good night, but not go to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have not the monstrous custom. Who all sense doth eat, of habits devil is angel yet in this." It's just before he goes to England. Yeah, I read Shakespeare very, very well. So this is about a young prince of Denmark who meets his father's ghost in the middle of the night and accuses his own brother of murdering him, which is King Claudius, and marries his widow, Queen Gertrude. Such a stupid name. So Hamlet, devises a scheme to test the truth of the ghost's accusations. And he fakes wild insanity while plotting revenge. It's amazing to watch him descend into madness. It's brilliant. His actions actually wreak havoc on innocent and guilty. It's a verbally dazzling and an eternally enigmatic exploration of consciousness, madness, and humanity itself. This is just an incredibly well-crafted play. I need to hold it on this side. I really need to sort this camera out. So the character Hamlet is created to near perfection, as obviously was Macbeth. These are two of my favourite plays of all time. Bit cliche, I know. But regardless of watching a man who actually descends into feigning madness, can't say those words together, it's terrible, from grief and tragedy essentially, you actually feel sympathy and pity for him, and I can't help it, I really can't. It got an atmosphere of suspense, moodiness, solemn and grief. It's not a spoiler, Hamlet dies at the end of this. If you class that as a spoiler now, and this has been out for over 100 years, get out. Really? That's not a spoiler. I mean, why would it be? It's an amazing one. It's one of my, it is one of my favourites. As is Macbeth. These two go hand in hand as two of my favourite plays. Not just because David Tennant has been, because he's been in Much Ado About Nothing. He did Romeo and Juliet when he was younger. What else has he been in? Richard II. He did do Richard II as well. Which I haven't read yet. I didn't get to that. I was actually going to try and get to that today, but I didn't manage 5. But yeah, if you're going to read any Shakespeare play, Hamlet and Macbeth, please read them. The last one I got to was King Lear. So this is another tragedy. I filled with tragedies apparently. That's what I wanted. So this is based on the legend of King Lear of Britain. So it's a powerful tragedy, elemental and passionate. It encompasses horrific and the heart-rending. Love and hate, loyalty, treachery, cruelty, self-sacrifice, and all these contend in a tempestuous drama which has become an enduring classic to the world's literature. In theatre and on screen, King Lear continues to challenge and enthrall. This is my annotated copy. I did not annotate this, someone else did, and they did a brilliant job. Got a lot of knots in my hair today. It's not a point. So again, like Hamlet, like Macbeth, this is a 5-star. It just encompasses injustice and evil, alongside the inherent goodness and grace that flows through the play as a whole. Because of Cordelia, one of the main characters, she speaks very honestly and earnestly. She obviously loves King Lear, despite the fact that he's mad, despite the fact that the grief makes him mad. The play has a lot of things like nature and nothing. Nothing kept being a motive. There's a good thing. Here it is. Yeah, so it kept saying everything was most savage and unnatural. And go say you nothing. I like this, not unnatural. Dealing. There was a lot of that kind of thing. It was a constant theme that everything was unnatural and nothing. There's a lot of moral codes and whether people should be angry at gods from what they take from the world, because obviously King Lear's daughter dies in this. Don't know why that's obvious. It's not obvious if you've not read it. So that obviously makes him mad. But whether he should be mad at the nature of the god of the world for doing that instead of the nothing of the moral code, it weighs up in a very strange way. But yeah, this is a beautifully annotated copy, and it saves me from doing it because I annotate every Shakespeare play I own, and it can get tedious after a while, because especially if you read, like I've read, because what have I read this year? These ones, obviously, and I read another one which I can't remember which one it was. Give me 1 second. Because I need to annotate the Master and the Margarita as well, because I annotate every classic. Taming of the Shrew. That's the other one I read this year. So I've got that to annotate. So not having to annotate King Lear is very helpful, because I've got 4 to annotate, but 4 Shakespeare plays to annotate, 5 books to annotate. So I managed 4 Shakespeare plays to celebrate the bard's birthday. Why does that look really bad? Ooh, Lord. That is terrible creasing. I also did get a book mail, and I got 12th Night and Much Ado About Nothing. So that landed very well. But I am very pleased with what I read for his birthday. I might try and make this a yearly thing. Obviously, next year I actually want to go to Stratford-upon-Avon and actually visit Shakespeare on his birthday. So, possibility next year this won't happen. But I shall try and do it every year that I'm not visiting Shakespeare personally. I will try and read as many Shakespeare plays as I can on his birthday. Just because it's fun. So I hope you enjoyed this really random video. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Bye.